So you'll record a couple takes of a song and move on. Sometimes record one and it had that magic thing, and you just move on.
Usually I'll go for a couple of takes, and if the band's really prepared, if everything's nailed down and they're nailing it, then sometimes one take's all you need. I like I like to get two just to be sure, and sometimes you'll just hit a bump in the road where there'll be I've had bands record where actually they rehearsed at my house before the recording, and I could tell which songs were this is gonna be one of those that's gonna take a million takes, and they'll never be happy with one of them, and after they're done with that, they're gonna have no energy left, So it's kind of good to strategically place those songs that are like that, which that song didn't even end up on the record anyways, upon my recommendation. But I think a really good thing is to when you get in there, start with something easy, Start with a slow blues or a shuffle, just something you can do in your sleep, and get one track down. And once you got one track down, you listen back to it, and it sounds pretty good, provided all that happens. Then the spirit will just be better, and you can tackle the more involved stuff, if you have any. And that's a good way just to check in your headphones and everything to just get in there and start jamming on the slow blues,
And if you make a mistake, say on the ending, will you just take the last chorus over again, just being cautious that the tempo is the same?
Yeah, I'm the master of cheating and manipulation and editing. I don't tell nobody. Yeah, there's a historical precedence for that. I've discovered edits and all kinds of classic blues records.
Sharp harp for the blues harmonica player. If you listen to the first two choruses, it's got harp, and then the third chorus it goes to piano, and then it goes back to the original two choruses, and then there's a final chorus that's added on, and you can actually hear where the piano is just cut off where the snippet is. I always thought, I was like, wow, man, that means he really worked out that harp part, because he played it verbatim after the piano solo. And I was talking with Rod. He says, "You sure he didn't splice it?" I'm thinking, no.
So they took the whole two verses
Yeah.
and just repeated them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So where I didn't expect it, all it took was Rod to immediately say, "You sure it wasn't spliced?" I'm like, no, I'll listen back to it. And I listened to it, and sure enough, it was spliced.
Oh, man. Yeah, you should put that in Pro Tools and put them on top of each other, see if they just match up perfectly.
Well, yeah, they do. Yeah,
oh, they do?
It's pretty.
Yeah. Whoops.
So there's more out there that we'll discover as time goes on.
Oh, yeah. No, I do stuff like that all the time because, it's, never mind that, it's cheating. I mean, it's every advance in recording technology ever invented has been done so to compensate for musicians' what should we say, shortcomings. That's if you have a bunch of guys who will nail it perfectly every time, and a mixing engineer who gets a perfect mix upon first listening, you need a 2-track recorder. That's all you need.
Yeah.
They got multi-track and everything. All that's all been done to assist with the creation of music by musicians of any caliber. So it's it's not that bad to cheat a little bit, and plus this there's so many times where I've done a take with a group or an artist, and it's just it's been great, and then you get to the ending and you go, oh, we don't have an ending, and then it falls apart at the end, you know. But everything else has the spirit and the vibe, and you know, sometimes when you do it again, it becomes stale, you know. So there's ways, you know, where you can keep, you know, just do the last verse again, and we'll just splice it in. I do that, you know, frequently.
And for the student, you put a pre-roll on there so they kind of play along or listen along, so that when it does hit that magic point where you're going to record that last chorus, that all of a sudden there's not this hiccup, and also the musician can hear, what was I doing leading into that chorus? Because it's when you're doing like jam track splicing, you hear ba-da, and all of a sudden that line that was going somewhere didn't go
stops.
somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that stuff is a lot easier to fix now with digital. You can after the fact you can move the edit point, and
after the lick.
So
after
the lick, so you can keep the whole first lick. And I always tell people too, I'm just going to start playing it, and as I say, play along with yourself. You know, play along with what you were doing, and at some point, yourself from the past will stop playing, and it's just present you.
Yeah.
And that's the edit. But and another thing that I should say about that, I mean, it's pretty detailed, but I end up saying this all the time in the studio when we do edits like this, where we cut in a whole new verse or something, is that get to the same intensity level you were at, because a lot of times it'll be at the end of the song, and after playing it for 5 minutes, you know, everybody's bashing away and it's loud and it's ruckus, and then you're doing just the last verse again as an edit, and then all of a sudden everybody's adrenaline is down and they're all mild-mannered again, and then it's not going to sound convincing, you know. So you got to go from 0 to 100 really quick if that's where it's at dynamically at that point in the song. Obviously.
That's a great point. And also on that same line about recording, say you're overdubbing harp or vocals or something like that, you don't overdub half the song and then come back the next day and reset up the equipment and then do it.
No, that all kinds of little gremlins go to work on your on your equipment, make it sound different the next day.
Yeah.